One of Metal Gear's most important elements is the storyline, and while these games are renowned for some of the best storytelling in gaming, there's also a lot going on behind the scenes. What happened to Big Boss and Eva after the events of Snake Eater? In today's video, we'll be exploring an untold story which many of you might not have heard about, one that took place between the events of Snake Eater and the Phantom Pain. How's it going, guys? Python Selkin here. Hope you're all doing well. As Eva herself explains in MGS4, following Operation Snake Eater, the truth about Big Boss became riddled with exaggeration, misrepresentation, and outright lies. Not only that, but we also learn in MGS5 that Big Boss's reputation became perplexed and perhaps even tarnished by the actions of someone more nuclear than Big Boss ever was, Venom Snake, whose actions Big Boss accepted as his own, taking them with him to his grave.
You erased me 2 times before. Today will mark the 3rd.
That's not the Big Boss I knew.
They were on your side, and you turned them all to ashes!
The subject of whether Big Boss was a villain or not raises debate to this very day. Having said that, we also learned throughout the series that one of Big Boss's key traits was the ability to still show compassion for his enemies and see their worth. These acts have been demonstrated by a number of examples, such as when he still worked alongside Miller despite being his enemy on the battlefield.
We first met as enemies on the battlefield, and now here we are fighting side by side. Why'd you save me? Your enemy after I tried to kill you.
He saved us a lot, more than once.
Don't!
Why?
Or even with Paz Ortega, who Big Boss felt sorry for, even though she hijacked and used his own Metal Gear against him. Another of these examples is Eva herself, who betrayed Big Boss at the end of Operation Snake Eater in order to accomplish her true mission, or so she thought.
The film we handed the Chinese was a fake.
With the philosopher's legacy she stole from Big Boss being fake, Eva failed her mission as a Chinese spy and was eventually expelled from China, leading to her disappearance in 1968, where she ultimately ended up in Hanoi, a city in Vietnam. The year 1968 coincided with the Vietnam War, which lasted until the year 1975. During her time in Hanoi, Eva met Big Boss again, who rescued her from the battlefield and would eventually introduce her to Zero in America, where she would then form part of the Patriots.
After your father rescued me in Hanoi, I went to America and joined their organization. Zero's goal was to achieve a unity of thought and awareness. He believed that was what the boss wanted, and the rest of the Patriots followed his lead.
Considering Eva was on the run, it's not quite known why she would disappear in a war-torn country as Vietnam during those times. In fact, in 1968, which is the same year mentioned for Eva's disappearance, Hanoi was bombed by the US as part of the ongoing Vietnam War, which could even be the reason as to why Eva would need to be rescued by Big Boss in the first place. Despite her betrayal in 1964, Big Boss left the past behind and rescued Eva when she needed him most. And while this continues to shed light on the true character of Big Boss, one can say he was right in not trusting people very easily.
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
I don't know if I can trust anybody.
Considering how Big Boss and Eva parted ways at the end of Snake Eater, Big Boss's rescue mission in Hanoi would definitely make for an interesting reunion between these two characters, and is an event that could easily be explored in a future installment, especially for the fact that this mission came around the same time of the formation of the Patriots, leading to the creation of the Les Enfants Terribles project. Having loved Big Boss, Eva herself offered to serve as the surrogate mother for the project, which led to the birth of Solid and Liquid.
I asked to serve as the surrogate mother, and was more than happy to carry you in my womb. I loved him. 9 months later, I gave birth to 2 big bosses, you and Liquid.
Upon discovering what Zero had done, Big Boss broke away from the Patriots for good, leaving the States and creating his own military company in the form of MSF, alongside Kazuhira Miller.
I'm sorry. Your father never wanted you. Human life isn't meant to be manipulated like that. I knew that, but I wanted you.
Despite drifting away from Eva and the rest of the Patriots, Eva kept in touch with Big Boss by sending him cassette tapes during the Peace Walker incident in 1974, where she would talk in more detail about the boss's missions, by which she hoped Big Boss would better understand the truth. According to the canonical timeline, Big Boss would return to Vietnam once again after leaving the Patriots, where he would rescue the soon-to-be highest-ranked member of Foxhound, Gray Fox, following the end of the Vietnam War in 1975. While it's definitely curious as to why Big Boss would revisit this location just a few years after rescuing Eva, Big Boss being in Vietnam after the end of the war is mentioned by Fox himself in Metal Gear 2. Yet these events seem to have been totally contradicted in MGS5, with the real Big Boss entering a 9-year coma at the end of Ground Zeroes, before the end of the Vietnam War. Eva's disappearance in Hanoi, Vietnam has been given importance in both Snake Eater's ending timeline, as well as in the Phantom Pain, although no mention of Big Boss returning to Vietnam is ever made. Soon after Big Boss's chopper crash in 1975, Eva, under direct orders from Zero, leads an operation to transport Big Boss and the soon-to-be body double, Venom Snake, to the old military hospital in Decalia, Cyprus.
Ava's leading the operation. Ava, following your orders? Funny, isn't it, that we should all reunite like this?
And while Ocelot thought Eva wouldn't work alongside Zero after leaving the Patriots, she knew that operation would be beneficial for Big Boss's safety, and considering the many times he saved her life, she definitely owed him one.
Snake. Thank you, Snake. I'll be your eyes from now on.
Following his supposed death at the hands of Solid Snake in Zanzibar land, Big Boss's body was recovered by the Patriots, who imprisoned him in a state of eternal sleep, neither living nor dead. In an attempt to free him from Zero's prison, Eva fought for Big Boss's freedom alongside Ocelot, Naomi, and of course, Gray Fox, as part of her Paradise Lost army. And while Eva certainly had her flaws, she kept fighting for Big Boss until her very last breath, and in the end, she succeeded in freeing him from his eternal prison. It's a real shame we weren't able to see these two reunited one last time. Big Boss and Eva's relationship takes a complex turn following Operation Snake Eater, but the way their story develops is worth being explored in future installments, especially given the importance of these characters throughout the franchise. That said, what are your thoughts on the missing link between Snake Eater and the Phantom Pain? Would you like to see Eva's rescue in Hanoi be explored in a future Metal Gear game? And which other events would you like to see featured from Metal Gear canon? Let us know in the comment section down below. Meanwhile, we hope you enjoyed this video, and for all things Metal Gear, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to this channel. We'll be sure to return the favor with content you won't find anywhere else. Thank you all for watching, and until we meet again, Python and Selkin, out.